Hey, everybody, welcome to the Freedom Nation podcast and another episode having an amazing guest on. Today, I've got Jeanne Omlor on. She is a coach to coaches, and she is amazing. She coaches up some of the best coaches in the entire country. She even does some work with some CEOs and celebrities and things like that. So we want to learn as much as we can from her because she didn't start as a coach. She actually started in different careers and morphed into this. So stick tuned and we'll be right back on in just 1 second.
All in you. Everything you're looking for, it's all in you. You gotta believe that it's all in you. Everything you're searching for, it's all in.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Jeanne, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, Jeff?
I am well. Where are you at today, by the way?
I am at Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, perfect place to be. God, it's beautiful down there this time of the year.
Always pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is beautiful. I mean, just the water is so crystal clear down there. It's amazing to me. So at one point, I almost moved to Tampa. I had a job offer down there and ended up getting a job offer back in Austin that was better and didn't move. But like 3 times in my life, I've almost moved to the Gulf Coast of Florida. So it's gorgeous there. Well, let's get started. Tell your story a little bit. So tell us how you got to where you're at today.
That's a long story, so I'm going to have to just give you the
give me the cliff notes
key points. Okay, so all right, let's start. I started off my life in the career as a fashion designer. That's what I went to college for. I worked for 2 years in that industry and I didn't like it. I just thought they're so superficial. I just want to go traveling. So I did. That was
probably the reason to begin with was like, hey, I get to travel doing this.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I was really, very artistic and design. And I thought I'm going to be a fashion designer. I mean, it was a lot of study and then getting jobs. And I just thought, it's not really that artistic. It's more business. And I was not a business person then. To me, that was a turnoff. It was a turnoff that it wasn't business. Isn't that hilarious? Because it was all about the art of it. And I thought, this is just a bunch of people, working hard. And then I just saw that. And I thought, do I really want to work at this and then wait till I'm 30 and then I buy a BMW? It just didn't seem appealing to me. I remember thinking that. I thought, is that all is in store for me? I work, and eventually I just, make some money and I buy a BMW. I was like, not interested. I wanted to travel. So that's what I really wanted to do. So I started traveling a lot and, that was an education and I had no money, so I was just, in those days, there was no remote access. There was no internet. So it's just really the old way of traveling and getting jobs and stuff like that. I ended up living in France for 6 years. So I obviously spoke French. I became a translator part-time, taught all sorts of people English, living on the edge. I lived in a garret like Mimi and La Boheme that had no water, running water, and the WC was 15 feet away on the landing, and I had to get a key and go into my friend's apartment to take a shower every morning. Very much an artist's life. Yes. Very interesting in some ways. I thought, it's so romantic. I'm just like this artist type, which I really was. I mean, I was living the artisan life, and you can never take that away from me, and I wouldn't give that back forever because I have experiences that most people haven't had. They just go into business and they have, their lives. So good stuff happened, bad stuff happened. Finally, after, I became an actress, by the way. So I was struggling. And I thought, you know what? This is no fun being poor anymore. I think I'm going to go to New York because,
because I could really be poor there if I go.
I just thought, I'm clandestine here and I really just want to not live like this anymore. And I'd rather pay taxes. I want to pay tax because I want to exist. You start to feel like you don't exist. I'm going to go to New York. I was already, 32 or something. It's not like I'm going to make it big as an actress, but I might get some work. And that was never my goal anyway. My goal was just to do it because I enjoyed it and live off it. And so I go to New York and it was hard. And so I started getting all these jobs and I ended up by accident getting a job as an executive recruiter for Wall Street by accident. The guy was like, I just love your voice. You're so cultured. I I said, okay. And I was really good at it by accident, again, by accident. And he said, you're the best recruiter I've ever met in my life. And I said, really? I'm not even
I
trying.
didn't really plan for this, but
I wasn't, I realized, I thought for the first time in my life, I didn't have to try
Mhm.
to be good at it. It was just so natural. He said, I've never met anybody like you. He didn't even really have to train you. You just, here's what you do. He said, you're a natural. I said, okay. It was easy. It was kind of fun. And then in the meantime, I kept up my acting and I started making like short films and blah, blah, blah. And then 9/11 happened. So
okay.
everybody lost their job. So I went back to the acting and being an extra on, I was in a lot of shows, Law and Order, SVU, bunch of movies, did so much background work. Okay. So then I got married. That didn't go well. And it ended up being a solo parent. And I thought I got to do something because I'm in New York with 2 young children and I got to do something. It's super stressful. I thought, what can I do because I was an older mother. I thought, what do I do? Well, I can still take care of my children. I thought, okay, what is there? I went through a whole list. Like, what can I do without having to go get a job? Right. I thought really looks like the only thing I can really do is do some internet kind of business.
Okay.
So coaching, I've always wanted to be a coach. Why don't I just do that?
Okay.
So, but I went through a long list of what, and I really went through it all, like the options. I thought that's it. It's coaching. So I got certified at night in my pajamas to be a life coach. And then I said to a friend of mine in the park with her kids, and she says, I said, I'm a coach now. She went, really? Awesome. I said, yeah, I got certified. She goes, okay. So who's your business coach? And I went, what? She said, you're going to need a business coach. You don't just know how to get business. I didn't miss a beat. And I thought, she's right. And I said, she goes, oh, I could coach you on that. I said, no, who's your coach? And she said, so-and-so. And I said, I'm going to hire her. She said, oh, okay. She put me in I'd already hired her in my brain. I just thought, so I got on the call and I said, you don't need a sales call. I need a coach. You're it. I'll just hire you. I don't know any other coach. That was it. And then for 8 years, I was doing the whole hustle of the networking and all of that, and speaking and networking and speaking and networking. And 8 years, I did make some money. People thought I was pretty successful, but it wasn't what I wanted. And then we had to move to Cincinnati. And at that point, I was in such deep debt from things that happened. I thought, I got to get online. I can't do this anymore. I can't be out there with my kids. And then they were in school at that point because I was homeschooling at one point. I thought, I can't do this. So I got to get online. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out how to do this. And I got online and I plunked down 10K on 3 different credit cards to do a program that wasn't that good, but at least I was in a program. And I figured out how to get high ticket clients, and I got to $1 million in 17 months and 92% profit on my own.
Yeah.
So it was finally the gift of all that work, and finally the inflection point and the tipping point, and I figured something out. The rest is history.
And amazing how many people would give up long before that.
I couldn't.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have a choice. I mean, you had a family to feed and everything else, and the reality was you didn't want to get the job and be locked into an office all the day.
Who's going to hire somebody that hasn't worked in years and years and years? So you're either overqualified, or they're like, oh, you haven't worked. You're
or massively underqualified.
And I wasn't going to go get a job in a shop. That's not what I'm going to. So I was really stuck between a rock and a hard place. Also, I couldn't because I had to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
You'd have to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to pick my kids up at 2. So there was no solution. I had to make my business work, and there was no choice.
So talk a little bit about that. As you started to kind of make that inflection point happen, what were some of the things that you did in that process to kind of adjust yourself to working with those higher ticket clients?
Well, the thing is this: in the 8 years, I had high ticket clients.
Okay.
Yeah, I was already charging $30,000 for a year to work with me. That's high ticket, but it wasn't enough clients because the marketing avenue was broken. Okay, so it wasn't. And actually, when I started online, I wasn't charging $30K. I was charging $4,800, right, for 12 weeks. But then it's gone up, and we have a better system. We got more coaches, so now it's $10K. I'm just going to tell you for 3 months, with it really dialed in. So, and I do have a year that is $35K, but that was nothing new for me to charge $35K for a year. It was just that we had a system in place, and I was also only coaching coaches and consultants now. And before it was all business people.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, and that makes more sense. Then you can really focus in on, okay, this is what works. Now, what type of work do you do with them? Is it more business coach, let me teach you how to market yourself, or what is it that you do in that world?
It is literally client getting.
Okay.
It's how to, everybody needs to get clients. So we don't mess around. We don't mess around coaching on anything but stuff that's going to get cash in the door. I'm the money gal. Because to me, in my coaching life for 13 years, because I started as a life coach for about 2 minutes, I'm very talented at helping people make money. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And my coach said to me, she said, I've never met anybody that helps people make money naturally like you. She says, you're not a life coach. She goes, you're a business coach.
Yeah.
Because of course life's in there. But she said, all your clients are business people and you're making them money. And I said, yeah. So it's really about stopping the fluff and stopping doing things that aren't going to bring money and that people love doing. It's none of that. We are only here to build your business, money making activities, i.e. getting high ticket clients and more, as many as possible. Of course, there's leadership and there's mindset and all of that in there to make that happen. Right.
Yeah. But the end goal is, hey, we've got to get money coming in the door.
Exactly. 100%.
Awesome. So, let's walk through your process a little bit. Let's say I come to you and say, Jeanne, I am a coach. I have a few high ticket clients. I've got a good process. I need to make money. Where are we going to start?
We're going to start with an offer. And who is it for? So first, you have an offer and you're doing this kind of the same time because it's back and forth, right? So, but first of all, what's your offer? Okay. Now who's that for? Okay. So first we're figuring out kind of who's it for at the same time. It's like one session. We do all this. So, okay, I want to help, people that need to build their, people that need to build your wealth. And I'm going to coach them on that. Okay. So who are these people? Is it men? Is it women? It's both. How old? Well, between this and this age. Okay. What do they do? Variety of things. Okay. So that's your avatar. We're figuring out who's your target market or ideal client avatar, ICA. Then great. We know who we're serving. Now let's go back. What are you doing for them? What's the offer? What's the irresistible offer? And I mean, not an offer that's like, that sounds okay. Nobody is going to fork money out for something that sounds okay. They're only going to pay for stuff that they see has tremendous value, that's going to help them do something really definite and big. So, well, we're going to help you with a 12-week program, and we're going to help you get so sorted out that you know how to get out of debt, you got some savings, and you know how to invest in at least 3 things. Boom. Great. I'm just doing an example. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a real, it's not, oh, you know what? We're going to do 12 weeks and we're going to chat about stuff. We're going to get clear. That's not enough. It's, what are we going to do? We're going to, something that's going to change their lives. So you get a offer and a price for it. So let's just say, I'm just making this up, people that need to build their wealth, and it's 12 weeks and it's going to be, $3,000, and you get this, and this, and some sort of promise of results, not a guarantee. Haven't gotten XYZ towards your goals by the time the program ends. Well, we're going to keep coaching you at no extra cost till it happens. They're like, whoa, that's great. So something that is irresistible because they're not taking such a huge risk because you built something into the contract. There's not a guarantee, but sort of seems like one because you're not allowed to use the word guarantee.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's no way you really can guarantee it. I mean, but
no,
you know what works. And if they execute on that, probably a pretty good chance. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can say, if this hasn't happened by this time, we will keep coaching you till that happens. You got to just do the work. That's the caveat. Just so you're coachable, just so you do some, the work. So you're not difficult to work with. Other than that, you can't say when, you can't guarantee. You can say, we're just going to make sure we work until. So anyway, that's what you start with. The offer, the offer. Nobody knows how to do that. I can do that in 20 minutes, actually.
Sure.
So what do we got? Okay. Now we're good. We have an offer. We have a price. It's amazing. Make sure the offer is amazing. There's certain things to make it amazing. I can't go into that. It's a bit long. That's how you do that. From that point, that's where you start.
Okay. Perfect. And then for a lot of them, I mean, is it that they're coming at it from an advertising perspective? Are they going to go out and speak? I mean, you said you had done that and that really wasn't your thing after a while. Is it really what fits their style as far as how they're going to then take that offer to market?
No, there's something everybody has to do
Okay.
because that's what worked for me. That is to master organic social media marketing.
Okay.
That's the bread and butter. That's the foundation. You get that marketing avenue going. One plate's in the air. Then you got to get really good at that, and that is a moneymaker forever.
Yeah.
Organic. So you got to learn either on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook how to get clients. The best one, FYI, is LinkedIn now.
Yeah.
So much easier. So much easier.
Well,
Facebook has become way more difficult in the last 6 years to get clients from. They block you. You can't add people. Used to be 6 years ago, you could add 700 people in 1 hour if you wanted to.
Yeah.
There's no blocking. So
Well,
now
and
everything's very
especially if
measured.
especially if you're coaching a very specific type of person, it's very easy to find them and narrow down in the LinkedIn audience versus Facebook. It's a guess.
No, Facebook was really easy. It's just they won't let you
Yeah.
do it anymore.
Sure.
They block you if you add 3 people or 4. Sometimes I get blocked for months. They've made it that a lot of people will be leaving Facebook if they continue because we're like, I hardly use it now, except I have 2 Facebook groups. So anyway, that's the deal. Where are you going to market? Some people need to be on Facebook because the Facebook groups are great for their offer. Some people need to be on Instagram because their offer is fantastic on Instagram. Depends on the offer. We always work it out. What's going to work for the client. We don't force them into something. It's about where are your people? We always go where the market is. Okay. And of course we know how to help you on Instagram and Facebook, how to get clients. I'm just saying generally, I've noticed that LinkedIn is just easier. Okay.
Yeah.
For most offers. And then from there, it's, content, how to get people on a call and how to highlight value and get clients in a very non-spammy, ethical way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
So
then
that's the first thing.
Close the business.
Exactly. And then that's it. That's the first system. And now people work with us longer. Yeah, sure. I mean, we can help you leverage and monetize your podcast. We can help you monetize being on podcasts. We can help you monetize the podcast in a different way that we figured out, like actual sponsorships, because I figured out how to get I have 95,000 subscribers now on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So figured out a lot of stuff. And we do help people to get paid speaking gigs if they want, but that's not the core of it. First, you have to get a system in place so you're good and clients are coming in. And then sure, what do you want to do? You want to get paid speaking gigs? Great. You want to, monetize a podcast? Great. Fantastic. So that's how that works.
Love it. Love it. Well, and I mean, it's just a nice systematic thing. What I like about your approach is you focus on the money first. Because I see so many coaches that, well, let's get your mindset right. And, let's do this. And okay, and I'm very direct. How do I make money?
Exactly. But the thing is, we have a mindset coach. The point is nothing helps your mindset more than getting clients.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So it has to be at the same time. It has to be at the same time, the mindset with the strategy. My whole thing is, to be successful, you need mindset and strategy neck and neck all the way, all the time. They're both important. But you don't sit around fixing your mindset when you're so worried about not making money. And you're not going to feel good about making money. And if you do feel good, well, that's not a good mindset because it means you're okay not being successful.
Yeah. Or you get commission breath and they smell you out right away and, they're gone.
Yeah.
After that.
Exactly.
So awesome. Well, what's new in your world? What are you working on that you might want to share with the audience?
Well, I'm about to get the YouTube Influencer Award.
Nice.
Because when you get to 100K.
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm actually thinking of starting a mini program to coach people on how to get that.
Yeah.
That silver thing.
I will tell you from having been on YouTube for, 4 or 5 years. I mean, just to get the traction going, to even get people watching what you're doing is extremely difficult.
How many subscribers do you have?
I've got about 15,000 right now, and it hasn't been a major focus. So, I mean, it's not like I haven't done anything. It's just, I hadn't really focused on it and said that, that's going to be my channel. What I've started to learn is there are so many different facets of me that I had to kind of break my world up into whatever social channel makes sense for whatever business approach that I'm working on.
Right.
You know, and so YouTube right now, I'm launching a whole nother YouTube channel just for the fiction side of my business, away from what I do with this channel, which is, you know, Freedom Nation. We focus on helping people kind of find that journey.
Right. Well, the thing
I
is,
have to do that. Otherwise it confuses the crap out of people.
right. Well, the thing is, we figured out how to do this through a podcast, like a
Yeah.
channel. Now I have a channel and there's more than my podcast in it, but
Mhm.
we're using the podcast to get those subscribers. So
Sure.
I thought, you know, wouldn't people want to learn how to become a YouTube influencer? Because I know how to do it. And
Absolutely.
so I was thinking, why don't I just I might create another small program. And
Mhm.
even if they don't have a podcast, how to get one up real quick
Yep.
and get that. Because once you have that silver plaque, you know, you can leverage that.
Sure. Well, but I mean, the other part is too, I think, you know, there's points when you get to 1,000, you know, you see kind of a boost because it seems like the algorithm goes, you've done something to get yourself there. And then you get to 10 and it seems like they give you a little bit more boost. And then you don't get anything until you get to 100, I think, at that point, besides just work your butt off and be consistent and put stuff out there.
Well, I actually have a shortcut. So
of course you do.
Yeah.
Do you want to share just a little hint of that for your?
Well, you're gonna have to pay for that. No, it's a whole system that I figured out. So I can't tell people on a podcast, like, you know what I mean? It's yeah.
Yeah. Was it, I'll ask it this way. Was it leveraging your podcast to get to that point, or was it, you know, leveraging content?
No, it's using YouTube ads correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
I mean,
apparently nobody knows how to do this because I figured it out. But anyway,
well, and YouTube ads, I will tell you, I mean, we've leveraged YouTube ads on my other podcast for absolute success. I mean, it's how we drove a ton of subscribers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Was, you know, and I mean, we're doing what normally people would think of as a very dry financial podcast, although Ron and I are fun and, you know, we joke around more than we actually talk about finance. But, you know, I mean, you got to get past the first 30 seconds. You got to be able to engage them in that first 30 seconds to get them to listen to a 20-minute podcast at that point. So you know, you've really got to work hard to be engaging from the very, very beginning to just get them to stay on there and listen to the thing. So
true. I hope that this episode makes them want to listen.
I hope so too. I hope so. Well, this is just one of the shows, but I knew having you on, we would get a ton out of you. So let's transition to the fast 5 questions now. Okay. Ready? All right. So first question, you wake up in the morning, business is gone. You still have the knowledge, you still have your network. What are you going to do first? You have $500, laptop, computer, place to live. What do you do?
I just do organic social media marketing because you don't need any money for that. And I create a new offer and I start talking to people.
Awesome. I love it. What's the biggest business mistake you've ever made?
Not getting online way early.
Okay.
8 years earlier.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you know, I think about it myself. God, I mean, I read back, you know, if you read a lot of what happened in the early years, my God, it was easy to make money online.
It was easy. It was like hotcakes.
Way harder now.
And we didn't think, we thought, oh, that's for those other people. So biggest mistake ever.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and so much of a problem in the finance industry, we just couldn't do it. The industry wouldn't let us. So, you know, finally they've lightened up and caught up to the 20th century at this point. Okay. What's a good book that you'd recommend for our audience?
Psycho-Cybernetics.
Okay. I love that book. Yep. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It is.
What is a tool that you use in your business every day that you might recommend?
LinkedIn Sales Navigator.
Yep. I agree. How do you know, when you have somebody that says, well, but I mean, it's going to cost me $90 to have Sales Navigator. How do you, how do you address that?
I would say you should not have a business if you can't spend $97 on it.
Yeah.
No offense. Okay.
Yeah. If it gets you one client, it's paid for life.
No, I mean, if that's your attitude, you can't invest in your business, then you're not a business person. You need to get coaching or get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last question for you. What is your definition of freedom?
Definition of freedom: being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whomever I want.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, Jeanne, if somebody is interested in learning a little bit more about you, getting in contact with you, maybe coaching with you, what's the best place to find you?
It is JeanneOmlor.com, JeanneOmlor.com. And there's a whole page, hundreds and hundreds of client testimonials, and a place to book a call. Also, LinkedIn, my name, Instagram, my name, and Facebook. Best place is probably LinkedIn. I see those messages more than the other ones.
Perfect. Yeah, you're like I am. You're on there every day. I finally found a system that I can, get the messages, and it's not a jumble of crap messages coming in, so I can actually get back to people now. Well, Jeanne, thank you for being on the show today. I really, truly appreciate you being on here and sharing your expertise and your story with us. And we hope you lots of luck with launching your influencer program.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, folks, as always, make sure, everything of her information is going to be down in the show notes page. Make sure that you reach out to her, go out and check her stuff out online. Her LinkedIn posts are outstanding, by the way. So I enjoy kind of following her LinkedIn post. So as always, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys back here the very next time.